So if you go into my community section, you will find this post. It was basically just me thanking you all for the support. But in here, I said, I'm filming a new video that will be out this Saturday. And this was posted 2 weeks ago. So where's the video? In this video, I just want to talk about what I've been up to lately, some problems I encountered, and some of the things that I've learned since I started doing YouTube. So just a few seconds of small talk. I just cut my hair. It looks kind of chopped, I know. I've been fighting every single morning just to make it look semi-okay. Also, spring is here, which means that the sun is out and that you won't have to suffer that horrendous level lighting in my previous video. Anyway, back to the main topic. What's going on with this channel? So as I mentioned in that community post, I was going to release a new video. In fact, I already filmed it. Spoiler alert in case you haven't guessed. It's a new base. It's my dream base ever since I started playing. You can see my first base sitting over there. So yeah, I filmed the video, but then after I rewatched it, I soon realized that there were some problems. So let's go through them one by one. Problem number 1. The audio was terrible. I used this Blue Yeti to record the audio. And for that video, I have to hold it up because there's no place to put it like I have here, which is quite bad because I need hands to play bass. So the whole video was just a weird mix of me putting the microphone way too close to my mouth or having it way too far away and then nothing can be legible. Also, I wear a mask because privacy, but it does make things a bit muffled. Combine that with my accent, I noticed that sometimes it can be quite hard to tell what I'm saying in that video. So there was quite a bit of post-processing needed for that video to make it watchable. The second problem, the pacing was terrible. I did it in a bit of a rush before work, so there wasn't a script or anything. It was just me fumbling around for an hour and a half. Because the pacing was bad, I tried to make up for it in post with video editing, which leads us to the next problem, arguably the biggest one. This laptop is an office laptop that I got 7 years ago. It was barely holding on for dear life when I edited my first 2 videos, and those were pretty short, less than 10 minutes with minimal editing. But when I tried to edit the unboxing video, it took me like 2 hours just to transcode the clip, and then whenever I try to move around, it's always so jittery. It feels like I was playing a video games on the server in another continent, so that was pretty annoying. Now, this laptop, it does have a discrete GPU, but I noticed that my editing software, Caden Live, didn't touch the GPU at all. At first I thought it was like my fault, you know, because like I'm on Linux, NixOS by the way. But because I'm on Linux, whenever things aren't working, it's usually because I configured it wrong. And this laptop does have an NVIDIA card, and to quote Linus Torvalds himself,
NVIDIA, fuck you.
So yeah, I spent basically a whole day trying to figure out what's wrong with the GPU setup until I found this page. So this is the support matrix from NVIDIA for video encoding and decoding. My GPU is the MX line, so if we go here and search for MX, you will see this. From MX 150 to MX 350, there's no GPU encoding and decoding support. My GPU is MX 250, so it does fall into this bracket. So my phone died, which is just great. So I'll be dubbing over this part of the video until the later conclusion, which is when I start to have a bad feeling and go check on my phone and actually notice that it did die. I know that this is very scuffed, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'll do better next time. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer because it means that I cannot do anything too complex on this machine because it doesn't use the GPU. So I'll have to spend like hours rendering or transcoding things. But there is one solution. This is my gaming laptop. It has an RTX 4070 which is supported, but only one small problem. So yeah, obviously it's not supposed to sound like that. There was something wrong with the fans. I'm getting a replacement soon. But for the meantime, I think I'll just pop on a pair of noise cancelling headphones and just deal with it. At least that will let me edit my videos. Okay, I've been ranting about the problems long enough, but they weren't entirely all just negative. I did learn a lot of new things over the past couple of weeks, and I want to share them with you. The first thing is with the audio. Because of that unboxing video, I've become more mindful of how I position my mic, as in trying to keep a constant distance between my mouth and the mic. I've also been trying to keep a nice and constant volume so that it's easier to work with in post. There's no high peaks or anything, or like quiet parts. In addition to recording techniques, I have also been learning a bit about post-processing for audio. Let me just show you real quick. So I'm in Audacity. It's a free and open source digital audio workstation. And I have this sample audio here for you guys. Let me just play it. This is how I sound like without the mask. So yeah, that's what we're working with for this example. Let me first duplicate this track so that we can add some effects to it. Alright, I'll try to go through this a bit faster because it's not meant to be a tutorial. Pause if you need to, and you can also let me know if you want an actual tutorial on how I make my videos. So yeah, the first thing that I like to do is go to this part, the silent part, and then go to effects, noise removal, noise reduction, get noise profile. This will basically get the noise profile of the ambient sound of your environment. I will then select the track, go to effects again, noise removal, noise reduction, and then just apply the noise reduction. So this will remove the ambient noise of my room, basically like laptop fans and so on. So next up is the compressor. What I like to do is I like to go to any of the loud parts of my audio and try to figure out what level are those loud parts. So in this case, I see that it's about -12. So I'll go to effects, volume and compression, compressor, and then I'll set this to 12. And after that, we'll make up the gain by 11, just so that it peaks at -1 dB. I don't have time to go into what each of these do, but basically the compressor will boost the quieter parts of your audio, and then it will switch down any loud parts. So this way your audio will be more consistent. So I hit apply, this is the new audio. So after the compressor, I normally apply a limiter just in case, so that if we have any peaks like this, it will get capped down. So I go to volume and compression and then limiter. This time when I play back, the normal peaks are around -4, so I'll just set that as -4. And then the target peak will be -1. So yeah, after applying, you can see that the peaks are now much more consistent. And for the final step, I usually do a loudness normalization. So this will basically normalize the volume of the video. So yeah, from what I've read, YouTube capped the perceived loudness at -12. So yeah, I'm just going to set it to -13 so that we don't have any weird clipping when I upload to YouTube. I've also normalized the peaks of the first one to be -1 dB so that we are working with the same amount of volume so that it's easier to compare. So let's listen to the raw audio. This is how I sound like without the mask. And the one after processing. This is how I sound like without the mask. So yeah, it doesn't sound that different because we are working with a small piece of audio. But if it's like a 1 hour recording like I'm doing right now, those steps will make a huge difference. So yeah, that's for the audio stuff. As for the video pacing, one thing that I've learned is that I should always go into a video with a script. It doesn't need to be something too crazy, it can just be some bullet points to provide the outline and the structure. But yeah, scripting is very important for me because it helps me have a clear goal of what each portion of the video do. Without a script, I notice that I tend to wander around aimlessly, and then in post I was left with like portions of the video that doesn't really lead anywhere, doesn't make any sense. Also, I learned that I should go for a smaller chunk of dialogues instead of a long sentence. In my previous 2 videos, I noticed that I tend to put in a lot of filler words if I record long sentences. And I know that's probably pretty frustrating for you to watch, and it's also messed with my pacing. So yeah, I'm doing smaller chunks for this video. Now, the main problem with recording in smaller chunks is that if I'm not careful, it can seem a bit choppy. So yeah, I've been trying to be more mindful of how those dialogues weave together in post. For example, starting a new take by repeating a portion of the previous take. Another thing that I've been trying to do is trying to keep my position consistent between the 2 takes so that there's no weird jumping around when I add them together. Now, I know a lot of these might seem very self-evident. I am aware of them sort of before I started doing YouTube, but only after filming a couple of videos do I actually internalize these and have a chance to practice them. Whoa, I'm back after raging about my phone dying. Okay, but let's move on. In addition to audio recording and pacing, one thing that I noticed is that I need to get much better at video editing. So I need to be faster, I need to make it more interesting. And unfortunately for this one, there's no easy way to get better except just doing it. So that's the final thing I've learned over the past 2 weeks, is that I should just make more videos and focus more on what I can do with my current ability rather than worrying about the quality so much. These yapping videos, they are very cheap to make, there's not much editing needed, and as long as I keep them relatively short, I probably can aim for a weekly release schedule. The videos will probably be pretty bad, but I will learn from them. That was the mindset that I originally have for this whole YouTube thing, is that I should just start doing things and learn along the way. However, by the grace of the YouTube algorithm, my channel got way more traffic than I expected. And with that, I started to unconsciously hold myself to a higher standard. I want to make quality videos that can provide values for you guys, but I realized that with my current ability, it's a bit hard to achieve. So for now, I'll try to refocus myself on making things that I can make and trying to learn as much as possible in the whole process. Of course, I will do my best to try and make them watchable, but they'll probably be pretty bad anyway. So thank you in advance for your patience. So to wrap things up, I want to talk about what's coming up next for this channel so you know what to expect. As mentioned before, there will be a lot of random and low quality videos. That base unboxing video is also coming. I'm working on it. Another video that I've been working on is Linux. This laptop is currently on Windows, mainly because I used to play Valorant. I don't anymore, but I haven't found a good time to switch. However, with the recent change that Microsoft made with like the AI push and so on, combined with the fact that I need a new workstation for this YouTube video editing thing, it seems like a really good time to switch. And I want to make it as part of a video where I talk about why I use Linux and maybe why you should consider it. Other than that, I have a concert performance coming up in a week. It's nothing too crazy, it's like part of this improvisation class that I'm taking. We're gonna do a concert with the other classes. I started playing bass 7 months ago, so this will be my first ever concert. So yeah, it's gonna be fun, I'm super excited for it. I will be making a vlog on that as well. So that's it. That's all I have for the short term. If we're looking like a bit further ahead, then I do want to start streaming at some point. Maybe with a VTuber model, because it's just easier to talk without this mess. But yeah, that's gonna take like some time for me to get around to, so I can't give you any hard timeline. Yeah, my content gonna be pretty random for now. I don't have a niche just yet. But hey, if you have watched this far, first of all, thank you so much. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, like the video if you like it. And to my current subscribers, thank you all so much for sticking with me when I'm stumbling around with all of these YouTube things. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. I hope you have a great day, night, wherever you are. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.